A lot of great quarterback performances from the week that was, week 14, but only one gets to be named Matt Ryan's quarterback of the week. So, Matt, who you got for us this week?
All right, I'm pulling up the numbers, boys. Sam Darnold, pretty unbelievable performance yesterday. 22 of 28, 347, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, averaging 12.4 an attempt. I don't know if you know, that's pretty good. Anything over 8 is excellent. So well done by Sam Darnold. I feel like a little, extra juice in that game too with Kirk Cousins coming back and he delivers that performance. Really well done. I love the way he's being aggressive down the field right now. So the play extensions were great. I know he had some of those wide open looks, down the field, but a couple of the deep balls he threw to Jordan Addison, man, were down the chimney. Like really excellent throws. I think this guy is going to be their quarterback of the future. I know they made the draft pick last year, but when you look at the production that he's had all year, you look at how he played yesterday, what he's done down the stretch the last couple of weeks, I think if you're sitting there and you're Kevin O'Connell, this team is built to win. It's built to win now, and they could have this nice little window here where they've got the pieces together. I thought his performance yesterday was outstanding.
Yeah, Darnold, you just see the difference from last year to this year in the aggressiveness. His average depth of target is nearly 2 yards farther than Kirk Cousins was a year ago. And you just have this kind of level of the football field that's now open and fruitful when you have guys like Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. That's like these 50-plus yard throws, these 40-plus yard throws that's just give my guy a chance sort of throws. So, Kyle, I'm going to go to you. Are you buying Darnold long-term in terms of I'm giving him a new contract if I'm the Minnesota Vikings?
Confidence is a hell of a drug, Mike Renner. And when you got a guy like Kevin O'Connell and you get in the huddle with those tackles and you break the huddle and you watch your X, Y, and Z take the line of scrimmage, you just kind of give that nod and you're like, I'm going to be all right. It kind of reminds me of when I was playing tackle in a year where we needed it. We had an injury at tackle. I had to play tackle. I knew the slide was coming my way every time, which allowed me to do what, Matt? Go shoot my gun. Don't even blink. Go get after these guys. And I think Sam Darnold's got that mindset right now. And there's a few of these quarterbacks that have been kind of downtrodden historically. I think about Jared Goff and Sam Darnold at the top of that list. And they just are having success. They're confident. They're in great situations. So, yes, I think Sam Darnold is going to be the future. Now, the question is, what do you do with a guy like J.J. McCarthy, who's going to be coming off of injury? But those questions don't have to be answered if Sam Darnold continues to go out there and win Matt Ryan's coveted Quarterback of the Week award. Right, Matt?
No doubt, man. You get this award, you get a contract, right? Is that what we're saying? I like the reference to the Chappelle Show there. Different C, but hell of a drug. I did like that reference right there. But listen, I think when you look at it, it doesn't matter how you acquire the talent, right? I think having the confidence, if you're Kwesi, their GM, or you're Kevin O'Connell, having the confidence of saying, I don't care how we acquired the talent, but if we get the talent right and we feel like we've got the right guy at the right position, we're going to commit to that. And the pieces that they have around him, the addition of Addison last year and his vertical threat down the field to complement what Justin Jefferson is doing on the other side, the acquisition of T.J. Hawkinson a couple of years ago via trade, and what he can do to the middle of the field, Kevin O'Connell's ability to run the football. It seems like two people on the same page, right? Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold, they're kind of seeing it through the same lens. And, I think I would have probably answered this differently week 6, but the sample size is big enough, right? And he's doing it when you need it the most down the stretch of the season. And I think they reward that. I really do. I think Kevin's got a guy in Sam that's playing great football. He's confident right now. I don't know if it's like a 4 or 5 year deal, but you're talking about maybe a 2-year extension or something like that. I think it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt, in that I was not buying Sam Darnold until really recently, probably the last 3 weeks or so with what he's put on tape, because the Jacksonville game was the bad that you worry about with Sam Darnold. Some terrible decisions, and he's had those littered throughout, but he's making up for it. If you make the ugly decisions that he's kind of known for, you better make up for it with game-changing throws down the football field, bombs, big play touchdowns that are basically the product of your arm and your decision-making. And he's doing that now consistently and able to lead them back and be the reason they win some of these games. So I'm going to read off some NFL contracts, some average numbers at the quarterback position of deals that have been signed in recent years. And you guys stop me. Feel free to either of you chime in when you hear a number that is like, that's probably too high for what I'd pay Sam Darnold. So I'm going to start low here because he's making $10 million a year right now. 1 year, $10 million deal. Gardner Minshew at $12.5 million a year. Geno Smith at $25 million a year. Baker Mayfield at $33 million a year. Derek Carr at $37.5 million a year. Matt Stafford at $40 million a year.
Matt Stafford.
I think that's probably right around the sweet spot.
Okay.
I'll go 38.5 for Darnold.
38.5 is what we're going. But if you're the Vikings, this is like the ideal scenario, right? You thought.
But you're looking. I think if the comp, right, is Baker Mayfield and you know, given what the going rate is now, I think that 40 number is probably a very similar type, you know, position to where Baker was at that time. And if you look at what they've done in the NFC South the last 2 years, and I don't even think, you know, I think the Vikings are built to win at a higher clip than the Buccaneers are, and you've got a guy who's at the point kind of delivering for you. I think that makes a lot of sense, in my opinion.
Plus, if you have J.J. McCarthy there, if it does go south and he has a lull of 3 or 4 games, with the way contracts are structured nowadays, especially those at the quarterback position, where they are kind of these 3-year almost trial deals to see if they really are this franchise quarterback, because I think teams have wised up from the kind of binary decision making we saw for so many years where there's like they either got no money or they got top of the market money. We're kind of seeing this mid-range start to fill out where, you know, $30 million deals are fairly commonplace now at the quarterback position. So if you're the Vikings, you have this ideal scenario where, yeah, you can give them that range of a deal. It won't kill you from a cap perspective. It's obviously not great, but you've, from a coaching perspective, been able to scheme around and been able to add talent in different ways via free agency that, you know, you can add to your scheme. And they've added key players like Blake Cashman for relatively cheap deals. So you're in a great spot where if it doesn't work out on that kind of trial deal with Darnold, well, you got a first rounder there who you loved what he put on tape in training camp that could very well be the quarterback of the future, and kind of following the Packers model of you can never have too many quarterbacks, right?
That was going to be my point too, is, you know, you lose a year of development for J.J. McCarthy, in my opinion, because of the injury, right? Like, it's one thing to sit in the meetings, but even if you were to choose to sit him and he was practicing every day and he was getting timing on the reps and those kind of things, you've lost that. And that's I mean, that's just the reality of the situation for J.J. McCarthy. I think you can structure it in a way. You look at Atlanta, what they did with Kirk Cousins, right? It was a 4-year deal at that spot, but really that the front loading of that contract essentially makes it kind of a 2-year deal that they're with. So I think there's ways to do it in a smart way that makes sense for Sam and is great for Sam, but is really, you know, beneficial for the organization too. And if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm sitting there, why would I want to leave? Why would I go somewhere else when I know I'm with the coach that I can be successful with? I really think it's a win-win for both sides if they can structure it the right way.
That is a great point, that there's no reason that Sam Darnold should go haggling between $5 to $10 million when he knows how the other half lives, right? He knows what it's like to be in a team with no talent, with a bad play caller, and how that affects how you play at the quarterback position. So obviously a great performance from him. We touched on Josh Allen. Matt, are there any other honorable mentions you wanted to touch on from Week 14?
Listen, man, I think it's a couple of weeks in a row I've said this, but Bryce Young gets an honorable mention for me. I think this guy played extremely well. I'm happy for him. He looks, I always felt like when I watched him in college, he felt like a Steph Curry type player, like at the quarterback position where he's moving around, doing some weird things with his feet, firing it up, but he was accurate. It seems to me that that's back, you know, and that was something we didn't see in the first year and handful of games at the beginning of the season. But as his confidence has grown, right, you're seeing some more of those off-schedule plays, a little bit more of the twitchiness that he has, and the ability to get the football out. I loved, they had the 4th and 7 again. And they go to the same concept that they had 4th and whatever it was against the Chiefs, where he hit that big throw to the corner rat on Thielen, left-hand side. It was basically the exact same spot of the field. And again, it's out on time in the face of pressure with some touch, gives them an opportunity. I loved it. The throw that Leggett ends up dropping, I mean, that's a game winner. I mean, there's nothing else that guy could have done to give them a chance to win that ball game, particularly on the last drive of the game, taking it, the length of the field. So shout out to Bryce. Great performance yesterday. Wins are coming. I truly believe this. If he continues to play like this and they build that roster around him in Carolina, wins are coming for the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, no one's done anything against the Eagles in like 2 months, and he puts together a game-winning drive the way he did. Unfortunately, obviously, Xavier Leggett drops it, but yeah, Bryce Young, he looks like the guy that was promised at number 1 overall.